Hello and happy November. So I am going to do my currently inked, and I first want to review the very few pens that I actually emptied out in October. So the first was the Kaweco Sport, and I had in here Colorverse Shiny Black. So I used that up. This has been cleaned. The next was my, I call it Stormtrooper Pilot Vanishing Point, but this had Diatramentis Document Black ink, and I emptied this out. And my TWSBI Eco Glow Green, and this one had in it the Dominant Industry Periwinkle Twinkle. So I emptied this out and cleaned it. Still a little bit of glitter that I've got to clean out, but I'll get that. I'll use a pen flush, I think, and get that cleaned out. And then this morning, I used up the Noodler's Lexington Gray in the Mahjong A1. Now, at some point, I want to do a video because I did a little Frankenstein with this pen, and I want to speak about what I did to it, because I think it might be a really fun option for some people. Now going forward, so throughout the month of October, I did receive a number of new pens to add to my collection, and I've got some videos that I've already posted for reviews and first inking, and some that are coming up. But I did have in my Hobonichi cousin, I had written out all of the pens and inks, and then the ones that were added. So a lot of these are going to be back for November, and hopefully I'll be able to empty out some of them. But for many of them, unfortunately, you're going to see a lot of black in this video, because for some of the newer pens that I have, I'm using the cartridge that it came with before filling it with a different ink. So again, a lot of black in this video. Because it is a number of different pens, I'm actually going to just use the Galen Leather Co. notebook that has Cosmo Air Light 75 grams paper, and then maybe in another video I'll show you when I put it in my Hobonichi. So we're going to go to a fresh page. And I have my pen case right here. So I'm just going to start top and then left to right. All right, so the first one that I have is a Sailor 21 karat gold. And this one I will be posting a video on, but it is very similar to the Pilot E95S. So this pen is just a little ink blob there. Sailor 21 karat. And this is, I believe it's a extra fine. Oh, and this is really, really nice to write with. And this is inked up with Diamine Earl Grey. All right, so the next one is the Pilot E95S. this is a 14 karat, also extra fine. And this is inked up with the Jacques Herbin. Gris Dehu. And I'm probably mispronouncing that. That's okay. All right, the next one is the Iwi Concision. And this one I believe is a fine. And this is inked up with Iwi Colors of Nature, Cold Dew, which is a sample that I have. This ink surprises me almost every time I write with it. Sometimes it looks very green, sometimes gray, sometimes it's very dark, sometimes it's light. So I'm excited to continue using this ink throughout the month of November. All right, again, just going in the order in my pen case currently, the Pilot Pereira, and I learned this trick from another YouTuber recently, Maria Rosu, I think might be the name, but she just did a currently inked, and I saw her flip her pen and do that swatch and thought, well, goodness, that just looks easy. All right, so Pilot Pereira in fine with the Pilot black ink cartridge. So this is one of my recent acquisitions, and I have been really enjoying writing with this. All right, next one, because I focus so much on the Glow Green TWSBI Eco, this one did not get a whole lot of love this month, but one of my favorite inks in this one. So this is the TWSBI Eco. This is an extra fine. And this has Sailor Ink Studio 1, 2, 3. Oh, beautiful. This is the chromo shading ink. So this one I probably will use up this month. I'll focus on doing a couple of journal entries to kind of move it along. All right, another kind of newer pen. So this one has that a little curve to the tip of the nib here. I did have one time that I was writing with it where it kind of burped some ink onto the page. The nib got caught on the I believe it was Tomoe River paper that I was writing on at the time. So it did a little burp. I'm gonna keep an eye on that. This is a vintage pen, so so here is the Centro I think it's 5270, and this has a 14 karat fine, somewhat flexible nib. And this has Diatramentis, Document, black ink. Given that this was a vintage pen, I wanted to just do a fairly basic ink as I got to know it. But I am really enjoying writing with this. It's relatively a buttery writer, and then there's these moments of scratchiness. So I've been paying close attention to how it writes, because again, it's a newer pen for me. All right, this next one, I realized after my currently inked that I labeled it with the wrong ink. And then because of some of my newer acquisitions, I really just haven't spent much time with this pen this month. So this will be another one along with the TWSBI Eco that I try to focus on. Just realized I forgot the I. All right. So this is Sailor 1911 in a medium fine. And I believe that I stated that this had the Sailor ink, but it actually has Robert Oster Summer Storm. And I really like this ink. It is a beautiful like bluish gray, and then it has these hints of purple. It's really a pretty ink. All right, and then I have my Sailor 1911 with a 14 karat gold nib. This feels a little dry. There it comes. There it is. Sailor 1911. And this has the Sailor black ink cartridge. Next up is the Lamy Studio dark brown. And this pen, I am having a hard time warming up to it. I actually had just this morning my first writing session with it where it did not skip at all. So I don't know, I'm not sure that I love it. I'm going to persist, keep trying. It could just be the ink, and because it's the first time I've inked it, I haven't been able to weed out if it's the ink or if it's the nib. I keep looking to see if it's aligned right. So yeah, we'll keep giving it a good shot. So Lamy Studio. And this is a fine nib, and in it is Colorverse. I believe it's Sun Spot, yes. Good, and even there it went down fine. It did not skip. But earlier this month, when I did this sample, you can see in the letter U, it skipped, and even a little bit in the little letter L. So, all right, this pen is almost empty. Almost, just a teeny tiny bit of ink left. See that little bit? So I imagine this will be done earlier in November. I believe the collection, yep. This is one of my few medium nibs, and this has Ferris wheel press, blushing mushroom. And there we go. All right, so I did have a viewer comment and give me the name of this brand. So it's actually what's on the nib. So this is a like, I always pause and think copper, it's brass. It's in a fine, but it definitely writes like a medium. And this one has diamine, nightshade, and it's from the ink vent from last year. Now what's interesting about this particular ink is it starts out blue, and then as it dries it goes into a purple. But even though this is not necessarily a fine, it writes like a medium, there is, I'm not sure the camera's going to pick it up, but it's already starting to patina a little bit. Is that the right word? Patina? All right, next one. Mine's not going as easy as it seemed to for Maria. Maybe I did see her kind of pick up the page a little bit. There we go. I always want to spell this word wrong. Kakuno. I say kakuna and it's kakuno, so then because I say it wrong, I write it wrong. This is in a fine. It's definitely a Japanese fine. Beautiful, love it. And this has the Pilot black ink cartridge. I wish on the cartridges they actually gave the exact name of the ink so that you would be sure to, if you liked it and you wanted to buy it, you knew exactly which one. I guess I could do some ink samples and see, is this Pilot black ink cartridge the exact same as this? They look, I mean, it's black, right? They look the same, but. And then this one I have a video for that has not published yet. And this one I'm not going to be able to do that same swatching, so I'm going to do like this. And this is the Angel Shop limited edition rose gold foil in a fine. And this is the Angel Shop black ink cartridge. And then last but not least, maybe least. I don't know that I love this pen. Is the TWSBI knockoff from Amazon in an extra fine. And this one has Noodlers, 54th, right, 54th Massachusetts. All right, so that is my currently inked for November 2022. I'm actually just going to label it. And hopefully I'm not smudging. Yeah, tiny bit. There we go. And I'm thinking going into December, as I use up some of these pen ink combinations when I'm re-inking, I will be a little thoughtful in choosing from my ink collection some inks that are a little bit more holiday-ish. You know, maybe some raspberry rose, some vintage copper, all the best, which I think all the best was the big bottle that was on day 25. Yes. But I also can acknowledge I don't have a lot of reds in my collection. And I don't have, Garland would be a good one, a lot of evergreen greens. I do have a sample of the Emerald of Chivor. That might be a nice one to bring out. Yeah, so we'll see. Let me give you a close-up. Thank you for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your day.